And what's the best piece of advice you can give someone on how to live their best life now?
What I would tell people is that they should remember that the most important thing in this world is to recognize and search for unconditional love, to treat themselves with the respect that they deserve, to treat everyone else that they come in contact with respect, to see the bigger picture on how they're affecting other people in their life. And by doing this, they will raise the vibration of themselves and the planet as well.
How to live your best life? Easy. Learn from the masters. Many people have done this before. And so what I'm trying to help people do is learn from the masters. And so in the Dr. Veronica plan, I bring in all kinds of masters to show you different ways to embrace your health and wellness. You do not have to start from scratch. So consider using a physician strategist who's going to teach you where to go and where to find the masters. So learn from people who are masters.
The best piece of advice I can give is to find peace. There's a tremendous mantra that I learned, and it's find peace instead of falling to pieces. Find peace instead of falling to pieces. I think the Italians say it the best, and I'm Italian, so what can I tell you? Che dolce fa niente. How sweet it is to do nothing. So if you want to learn how to do nothing, come to my website. I'll show you lots of ways to do nothing, to find calm and to find peace.
Well, they first have to discover who they are. When Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within you, he said you are part of the divine. Once we access that and begin to realize that we are part of all that is, then we can find our own purpose for being here, the personal spiritual path that leads us to who we really are, and that always takes us to other people. To practice the spiritual principles, to be who we say we are, is one of the most important spiritual truths that I can share with people. So it's like, do you want to be a bird in a cage, controlled by other people's values, or do you want to soar like an eagle on the wing? That's the choice that everybody has, and I encourage everyone to find their path as the eagle on the wing.
Thank you. Best advice that I can give anyone, whether in business or whether they want to transform their lives, is to figure out where they want to be in the next year. This is so important because if you don't figure out where you want to be, you are going to be guided and your life is going to be determined by others that have a different mission for you. So the best advice is to figure out where you want to be within the next year. For business owners, perhaps in the next 3 years, and your goals will be attained once you've made that decision.
What's the single best piece of advice you can give people to make their health and their life better today?
Well, everybody is dealing with so many body issues, overweight, and all kinds of chronic diseases and things like this. You know, I'm a messenger, and sometimes people don't like the message that I'm bringing, okay? But the reality is, it's not fat that makes us fat. Actually, it's those carbohydrates, all the things we love, those
pasta,
yes, bread and pastry and all of that stuff. If there's one thing that people could do to feel healthier, have more energy, and improve their digestion and their health, it would be to reduce out their sugars in their carbohydrates.
I don't like you anymore.
I know. I figured, but hey, you know what? I'm just the messenger. Don't you don't like the message, don't you?
Message is reduce sugars and carbs, and
right.
we'll be healthy, happier, better people. All right. Thank you so much.
Well, Arielle, today I'm happy, I'm healthy, I love my body, but it wasn't always that way. When I was a teenager, I felt alone and misunderstood, and I felt lost and worthless. So I starved myself to the point where I lost 1/3 of my body weight, and I was diagnosed with anorexia. I tried leaving school to remove that pressure, but that only took away my direction and purpose. I tried hospitalisation, but that just made me feel worse about myself. And I tried staying with a close family friend for a while to take myself out of my family environment, but she had no idea how to relate to a teenager with an eating disorder, much like my parents. It wasn't until I discovered how to reframe my thoughts so that I could turn them into strong, positive ideals and permanently alter my thought process that I was able to recover. And I teach these strategies in my books and my programs. And in my book, It Will Get Better, one of the key messages is about having the freedom to choose, because we all have the freedom to choose who we're going to invite into our lives. We have the freedom to choose how we're going to act and react in any given situation. And it is the freedom of choice that will ultimately dictate our well-being.
My best piece of advice would be, since we're all going to experience the death of someone that we love at some point or another in our life, my best piece of advice would be to do the best that you can to turn that pain into a healing energy for yourself. And the way to do that is by reaching out and connecting with your loved one on the other side. We all have the ability to do this on our own. We do not need to have special powers. And it's this spiritual connection that you can have on your own with your loved one that provides the healing, the love and the comfort and the strength that helps you pick up the pieces to move forward with your life, to live the most fulfilling life that you can.
What is the best piece of advice you can give people on how to live their best life right now?
Well, I think the best piece of advice that I have that's worked really well for me is setting an intention before I go in to do something. I work with a lot of business leaders, and I find that if they'll be on a phone call and suddenly their lights get knocked out, or that they're upset about something, and then they go into a meeting and they stay that way. And if they would just set an intention, stop and think about the meeting that they're about to go into, what it is that they would like to get out of that meeting, then it just sets the tone for the meeting, versus if I'm angry, all that negativity goes into that meeting. Rather than the negativity, the positive goes in.
Right.
Well, if you want to live your best life and you're thinking about divorce and it's not something that's absolutely urgent and you have children, I would say don't do it, because you're affecting their best life. But other than that, if you're planning for divorce, it's important to know what your finances are, know what you have, know what the other party is doing as far as their finances. Be well informed before you take the step so that you don't miss out on anything.
I would say ask the biggest questions in the world, the most important question, and that is basically, who am I? How do I set myself free from pain and suffering? How do I find joy? I honestly believe asking those big questions, will put you on that path. And once you're on that path, then you're leading your life to your full potential. You're starting to transform and go through the process of, transmutation, transformation, and transfiguration. And there's no doubt about it, it's going to happen. So you've got to believe that you are more. Don't settle for Groundhog Day. Get on the phone, find someone, get out there and actually connect with people like myself and others to help you to make it easy. Don't think you're crazy when you think, this is all not real, this is how it is, this is as good as it gets. This is not as good as it gets. There is so much more. You need to get out there and empower yourself, and you can help through others that are leading the way, examples, like Jesus Christ and all of them. They're the enlightened ones, and we think we're separate from them, but we're not separate from them. We are the same, and they were the way showers for that, and there are other people out there doing that, like myself and others, when you say, who am I? It's like, I would answer, I'm Sharon Van Zullekom. But I know that I'm so much more. I'm a magnificent, powerful, supreme being that is, a multi-dimensional light being. And, when you know that, you are designing the own plan of your life. You're not living the Groundhog Day, day after day. So know that you and everybody else is that. And to find that, search for happiness in any way you can.
I've really got one main piece of thing that you can do, and that's set a plan. especially in the online businesses, what I'm doing. People get kind of bombarded with where do I start with the social media and the Twitter and Facebook and writing a blog and all that sort of stuff. And the biggest piece of advice I can tell somebody is set a calendar, set a timeline on when you're going to do things and when you're going to get done, and stick to that plan, and you'll really see a big difference.
Yeah, I bet you that works for all areas of your life.
It's true. You know, you set a plan in general, and I think you can follow it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
What is your best piece of advice to give people to help them live their best life right now?
Yeah, I think it's simple. It's about taking responsibility for self-control and how to influence others through winning habits, okay? One of the biggest responsibilities as a human being is to have self-control of your habits. You need to know where your habits are coming from and how to change them, okay? From today, you need to seek out those winning habits I'm talking about in my book and try to practice them starting today. And within a space of 3 months, you'll be seeing changes in your life.
Well, I'd love, I have used this, so my advice is it works. Keep a journal, keep a gratitude journal, as well as keep a journal to write your thoughts, and look at each day, each morning and each night, how you can reach out and radiate to others, and write that down. Start the morning with an incantation that lifts your thoughts up to its highest level. It could be something like, all I need is within me now. I have the power to reach out and live my full life. And as you go along, keep that journal every day, and that's your power book.
And what is your favorite affirmation?
My favorite is, all I need is within me now.
I think one of the core things that people need to do is get very, very clear on what they want. And my visual method, you can go to my site, www.graphiccoach.com, and there's 3 visual tools that you can get. And they will help you define what is your vision, what do you really want. Get you putting that down onto paper, drawing it out. And also there's energy work that happens when you're doing that, that really aligns you at a deep core. I've had many people, you can just start with that, draw out that vision, even put it into a drawer. A lot of people put it up, but even sticking it away in a drawer. Come back to it later, and people can be quite amazed about what has happened and transpired just in that little act of getting really centered about what you do want.
I think it's all about service. I believe that the cure for depression is serving other people. And what you need to do in order to do that more effectively is you have to share your gifts with the world. I believe one of the best ways of doing that is using social media, having a YouTube account, having a Facebook account, having a Twitter account, and share your gifts. Talk about how you can add value to someone else's life. It's amazing how many people will be drawn to you and attracted to you when you make your gifts actually known to the world.
I would say have an abundance mentality. You know, there's some people who live with a scarcity mentality and think there's only enough to go around for so many people, whether that's food or happiness or money or anything else. And I would just say there's so much abundance in this world that all of us can share, and don't guard your best secrets. Don't only help certain people. Just give away your information, give away your knowledge, help the most people, and as you know very well, it'll come back to you tenfold.
I completely agree. Great advice.
My last bit of advice that I would like to leave you with is financial empowerment. Know which way your money's flowing, and know that your money doesn't control you, that you control your money. And living your destiny, your best life, will bring forward the gifts to the world that you want to deliver. And if not now, then when? And if not you, then who? The gift that you're meant to deliver might empower someone else who will invent something that will change the world. So I think it's really time for us all now to step up and take action.
Thank you.